Yes, it's the Champagne Rugby Podcast. It's me, Tony, and James McOnie. Sort of rhymes there, James, if you like that.
Yeah, it does. I don't mind it.
Tony and James McOnie. If I go Tony McOnie.
Yeah. And Tony and his cronies.
Tony McOnie sounds a little bit like something that comes out of a lactating woman's breast, is the only thing.
What? Tony?
Tony McOnie.
Meconium is baby poo.
Oh, is it meconium?
Yeah,
okay, forget about the boob thing.
Yeah.
All right, we got off topic pretty early.
Right.
Thanks very much for listening in to the Champagne Rugby Podcast. We're getting geared up towards, the Champagne event of the rugby calendar, the 4-yearly calendar. I don't know if that's a calendar that exists, a calendar that just sort of does it once every 4 years. You know what I'm trying to say here. It's the Rugby World Cup is not far away from kicking off. I'm going to guess it's 28 days away. I don't know how many days away it is, but that sort of seems right. And we're going to have a little look about the shenanigans that have been going on in the lead up to the World Cup, because, geez, there's been some shit going on, McOnie. There's been pissed off coaches ditching other teams who they once were in love with. We've had players banned and then unbanned and then banned again. So it really has been all go. But I think a nice place to start is the Wallabies. Eddie Jones, the coach who everyone seems to either love or hate, he's lost the plot.
Yeah, Eddie Jones has. They had a farewell wearing Akubras, which you got to love. Best drip, as they say, of any of the rugby teams we've seen so far, and they're number ones. Akubras at the airport. Maybe it had a few drinks, but shit, he teed off during the press conference. Have a listen to this.
I know what's wrong with Australian rugby, and part of you blokes are the problem, because you're so bloody negative about everything. So negative about everything. Okay, so we're going off to the World Cup, you think we can't win. You think the selection process is bad because the players can play. So I apologise for that. So we'll go out there and do our best, boys. So if you haven't got any positives to say, don't ask. But I know you blokes think we can't do any good, so don't ask any questions, boys. Just be the pessimist you are. Keep Australian rugby where it's been. Keep it where it's been.
Eddie Jones, and then he carries on to say, just give us all that negativity. Just keep on going, boys, with the negativity. I want to wash it off me. This negativity. And then his worst press conference ever. Worst press conference I've ever been to in all my years in world rugby. And he goes, give yourselves an uppercut. But I do want to backtrack. Was there a journalist when he said, keep on being negative? Was there a lone voice going, I wasn't negative?
He did say, I wasn't negative. He actually, he had that planned. He was always going to do that, because the question that fired it all off wasn't anything really negative at all. It wasn't anything really saying they had no chance. It was just a more general question about anything, and then he got into that. So he was, when you've got an argument that you're kind of all ready to have, and then someone will be like, hey, how's your day? And you're like, hey, would you mind putting your fucking teacups in the dishwasher? And they're like, whoa. This I had that sort of vibe for it. To me, speaking of the teacups thing.
Okay, I get it now. Fine, thanks for getting your message across via Eddie Jones. So wait a second, what was the question that fired it off?
I don't remember the exact question. I wish I had it right here in front of me. But it really, I listened to it a couple of times because you can hear it off mic. And it's something along the lines of, the selection process, you think the players are up to it or something like this. But it wasn't like your players are shit.
Well, what they're saying really is, Eddie Jones, you've thrown your toys. You've gotten rid of all these players who are pretty freaking good, especially Hooper, right?
Cooper.
Cooper's, Cooper is a really good player as well. But I could understand it if he wanted to, for example, bring back Foley, because they did quite well with him until he had that little tete-a-tete with the French referee. Kicks the ball, you're wasting time. And then he's like, what?
I told you, man.
I'm Australian, mate.
This
is my country.
We play.
Yeah, we play. And then that pretty much was the end of him. So I feel like Eddie's thrown his toys and picked a whole lot of young players. But that's the ultimate excuse as well, because you know what's going to happen when the Wallabies lose, and Eddie Jones will be there and go, what do you want me to do, mate? Our fullback is a kid. Honestly, he's a child. He's an unaccompanied minor. We had a chaperone in the dead ball area for that whole game. At halftime, we took him off. He had to have a nap, and then we gave him some chocolate milk, and then we had to wait for him to wake up a bit, and he came back and played the second half. They're children. What do you want to do? Just keep on with that negativity. I just got to wash it off me, because I don't want my kids to hear. They're all children. Yeah, think of the children.
It really is a perfect way to avoid getting any sort of criticism
Yeah.
by just saying, hey, if you criticize me, it's your problem. You guys are being too mean. But if I don't perform, that's probably because you were too negative.
And
so really, I'm invincible here. I can't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a way to go. I also think it's one of those strategies that he's got by picking all these new guys where he's lost all these games in a row. He's like, well, if it all goes tits up, then I'm out anyway. So I'm going to get fired. But if we somehow maybe squeak through, who knows what's going to happen, then I look like a fucking genius.
Oh, and that's what he wants. He wants there to be one play or one game where he goes, I bet you think we wouldn't win, did you? Did you, boys? You're a bit too negative. But did you see that kid out there? And if Max Jorgensen is sitting beside him and someone asks a negative question, Eddie will actually put his hands over his ears and go, don't listen to them, Max. You're a child, and I've got you. You can nuzzle into here, right into my nip. Come in right here, just nuzzle.
Have a suckle. Have a suckle on the teat. Oh, yep.
Eddie's got you. No negativity's going to touch you. I'm going to wash you off. But,
And I think it's also easy to forget that Eddie Jones, I mean, he hasn't had a great run this year, but let's not forget last World Cup, the team that he was in charge of really shat right down our throats in that semi-final. So he's capable of amazing things that we kind of can't predict. So he's a scary guy for me. He's a scary character. I'd hate to be one of those journalists who he berated. That would be like my worst day at work ever.
Yeah.
To be yelled at by Eddie Jones. I mean, that guy was like, what's happening? No, I don't want to be. Oh, no.
Can you remember the Hot Crazy Matrix? It was one of the first viral videos of using a whiteboard.
Yeah.
And now it's the fuck around and find out one.
Yeah.
There needs to be one for Eddie Jones because, like you say, he's just crazy enough that something good will happen. When he goes too crazy, then all shit will fall apart. The arse will fall out. So he's got to try and find that balance between just crazy enough so he inspires something and a great idea, probably from Steve Hasen, comes through. But then if he goes too far, jumps the shark, then the whole fucking arse will fall out of the wallabies.
Yeah, it's like the Dexter's Laboratory sort of vibe where he when Dexter starts doing the crazy stuff and he's trying to defeat Dee Dee, his sister, he'll start going really well, but then he'll put too much things into the creation and it'll fall apart and Dee Dee will eventually win. So he's got to just make sure he bails out early, takes his chips out of the casino while they're getting still good.
So Dexter, is that the serial killer?
No, Dexter, Dexter's Laboratory.
Is that a cartoon?
It's a cartoon, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, Dexter the serial killer, he's another guy. He's
Yeah,
unrelated
okay,
to...
sorry.
I don't imagine I mean, it could be...
They both had labs?
He could be grown up. Yeah, I imagine one was more of a dismemberment lab. Still a lab, nonetheless.
Still a lab,
It
hey.
would be a great sort of canon if Dexter's Laboratory, when he grew up, he became Dexter the murderer.
Oh, fuck.
I've never heard that theory, but I mean, you heard it here first. I say spread it.
There's not many Dexters out there.
There really isn't.
Dexter feels to me like a first name, a bit like Chad, that it's really America. You know, like even the American girls' names, I feel like Marsha has stayed in America, but Brittany, we've all got Brittany's down here. Yeah.
Same as like Tanner, this sort of name. They're like,
Yeah.
you don't hear them over here. You don't hear a little, hey, Tanner,
Yeah.
stop putting your finger in your foot. I was going to say but I thought that's probably too aggressive.
But even our names that we think are Kiwi, like Bruce and Murray, they love that up there. Oh,
got a
Murray.
Murray. I like it when they try to say Craig and they say Craig.
Craig, yeah.
They're saying, hey, Craig. Also, Graham, they say Graham. Graham.
Oh, Graham, like a...
They say like Graham, like a bag.
cocaine.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I got Graham. And you're like, oh, you're getting a bag. They're like, no, this is my granddad, Graham. And you're like, oh, I see. You're just saying it incorrectly.
And then yet with mayor, like we say the mayor of the town, they're all mayor.
Yeah.
Mayor!
And don't get me started on grand pricks that we all say is grand
They
pricks.
don't say Grand Prix.
No, we do.
No, we don't.
Oh, I do.
You've got to try and get onto your Prix. It's got to be a Grand Prix.
Grand Prix. Yeah, that's the one. Hey, speaking of the Akubra as well, it really stood out to me. The Australians, they made a huge effort. They had like sort of the moleskin pants, the almost like first 15 style blazer with the green trim around the edge, and then a big Akubra. They're dressed for the occasion, and I love it.
Well, it felt like boat trip blazer, for when the old teams hop on the boat, Bradman's Ashes team or whatever from the 30s or 40s, they get on the boat and all of a sudden it's like, oh, look at them.
Yeah.
And off they go to go and defend the Ashes.
It reminded me of
Oh, good on you, Don.
the Olympics teams. You know how the Olympics teams always dress up for the occasion? I thought it's so smart to dress differently for the World Cup than you do for any other tournament because you're going off to try to win this amazing thing. So you dress up, it's like got a theme. It's something that I think Scott Robinson would do. I'm like, it's right in his wheelhouse where we just wear the normal replay shit that they wear. They look like they've just come in from a nightclub. I mean, I don't want to be disparaging to anyone in particular, but that replay is absolutely outrageous.
It looked comfy for travelling.
What, a full denim suit?
Oh, was it? I saw them in all black.
Yeah, that's
with
denim.
Cargo pants.
It's denim cargo pants.
Oh, right, okay.
They're running a full denim get-up. You're right, there is some travelling to be considered, so you probably shouldn't wear full number ones.
I think pants with good pockets and they're a little bit stretchy at all times for me, really, but with a little bit of give is good for travel.
Yeah.
And even pants that don't require a belt, because you're pissing around at security, and I'm all about slip-on shoes when I travel.
I never wear anything higher than the ankle.
Yeah, because
I don't think you're the shoe bomber. You're wearing a pair of Chuck Taylors and you're like, hey, mate, I don't know how I'm going to blow up a plane with the most popular shoe that's ever existed, this thin canvas. It's no thicker than a sock. How just because it goes above my ankle, I've got to take it off?
Oh, and if you did, you'd be known as the Chuck Taylor bomber. You wouldn't even get your full name. They wouldn't go the Tony Lyall bomber.
No, you'd be the Chuck Taylor bomber. And then Chuck Taylor's like, oh, great, now my legacy has been ruined.
Yeah. Where's my name check? Come on.
Yeah.
At least mention me.
Also, an Apple Watch. I didn't take it off and it didn't beep.
Oh.
I know. So if you are out there thinking, oh, how am I going to blow shit up?
Glass.
Chuck in an Apple Watch.
Plastic. Yeah.
I mean, maybe it did beep and they just didn't care. It's hard to tell when you go through security. Sometimes they really do not give a shit.
Anyway, secret to the what would you call retro throwback but good quality drip, as we say, is piping. It's the piping.
Yeah.
You don't need the full-on stripes, because I feel that's been done by, we've got a couple here in the ACC studio.
Yep.
The stripes have been done a lot to say, yes, we're an oldie-worldy kind of vibe.
Yep.
But piping, nice.
Yeah, good bit of piping. Hey, and sticking on Australia, they have had a new guest pop up to training over in Paris. You may know him, you may love him, you may also have never forgiven him for not having Ben Smith in the match day 23 for the World Cup semi-final in 2019. But Steve Hasen, Shag, he's popped over to help out his old mate Eddie and try to help the Wallabies. And caught a few people off guard. I think we've got some audio here of Dane Coles finding out live on TV.
What do you make of your former coach linking up with the Wallabies?
Who's that?
Steve Hasen.
Yeah?
What are your thoughts?
Shag, what are you up to? Oh, that hurts a little bit, to be fair. I'm Mitch Goldsmith.
Yeah, he was, and it took him a while. He goes, oh, no, really? He went through a lot of stages of grief, and in the end, I think he kind of walked away going, say it ain't so.
Yeah.
Say it ain't so, Joe. But he also, I love it. I reckon Steve Hasen's going in there, like, speaking of throwing a bomb, he's going to put so many grenades in Eddie's head. He's just going to be giving him all sorts of fucked up advice, because...
Do you think he's going in there to screw the pooch? You think he's an undercover agent?
Oh, yeah, unless he's going... I mean, that's the only reason why he's going in there, is to absolutely mess things up. He's getting a free trip to France, so you say yes. He's free piss, yes. Free whatever you want, baguettes, yes.
Baggies? You reckon he's...
Baguettes.
Oh, baguettes. Sorry.
Possibly. It depends. There's a few people he could contact over there, I'm
Steve
sure.
Hasen on the White Rhino would be a hell of a thing to see.
It's like cocaine beer.
Yeah.
But if he goes over there, I know exactly what he's doing. He is a massive sabotage spanner in the works. He's the shagger in the works.
The shagger in the works?
He's the shagger in the works.
I like it.
And so he's not going to give him any good advice. And if I even hear that he said, what you should do is play your best, most experienced player at fullback. I made that mistake back in 2019. Ben Smith, oh my God. But I don't want to hear him say anything that's actually helpful or logical.
Yeah.
I reckon he's going to go in there and say, yeah, great idea having 3 props in the back 3. Never thought about it. Yeah.
And even that is, you've done some work on his accent there, and it makes it more easy to understand. Because I imagine by this stage, he hasn't been coaching for a while. He's probably descended in just to grunts and mumbles.
Well, that's the issue as well. He will need a translator of some
He'll have to
kind.
come with subtitles. He really will.
Because Australians have got born nasal and they want to hear what you've got to say. And can you please just even finish on the up? So I want you to move wide, umbrella defence, come in. Whereas he's like, connected.
Yeah, put your feelings
Stay
down.
connected. They always say stay connected on defence. That's all I hear them say.
Stay connected.
Stay connected.
I mean, which does seem to make sense. I read, this is in my thoughts and feelings, I want to credit this, thought Dylan Cleaver the Bounce, an incredible edition this week, saying that the idea that Steve Hasen sort of petitioned to get Fozzie to be the coach for this World Cup when he left. He was part of that process to get him to come in. He was his assistant coach. He greased the wheels to help him to get him to come in. And then he immediately goes and works with the coach of the Wallabies in the World Cup that Fozzie is the head coach for. You got to think, Fozzie must text him and been like, hey, buddy, hey, what the fuck are you doing? This is my last hurrah. Would you mind not screwing me like this?
Exactly. I wish Fozzie would send a text like that, like, hey, buddy, what the fuck are you doing? Etc. Whereas I reckon Fozzie would go, oh, did he? And then then he'd sort of walk away and go, is he okay? And then you just see him walking in on those long hotel corridors. Where's he going? Down the fire exit, and he's like, is he walking out onto the M25
and you just hear,
what's it?
Everybody hurts.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Nobody said it was easy. Maybe he walks in reverse and come back.
Yeah.
But that's the issue for Fozzie is don't worry about any of that shit. Like, you've just got to actually you've got to watch Frozen. I think his kids might have been too old for him to watch it. Let it go. Let all of that shit go. And the World Cup was won last time by a coach who came in a year out, Rassie Erasmus, and every press conference he massively overshared and told way too much. He has fucking got verbal diarrhea of the best order if you're in the media. It's like, holy shit. You know, like he's giving you all these quotes and grabs and you're going, yes, Rassie, keep talking. And the media managers there going, I can't stop him.
I simply cannot stop him.
I can't stop him.
He's the boss and I get paid in biltong.
Yeah, and they're all having laughs and they're all, you know, because there's serious guys there, but there are little cheeky people in the team as well. They just have this good vibes, and that's actually what you need to aim for. Don't worry about all your precious IP and stuff. You make sure the vibe is good and that you've done your homework and that you're using all your data that you get from GPS well, and you win the fucking World Cup.
I think
don't worry about the other shit.
Good vibe it's 90% of the thing is good vibe.
Good vibes.
I've never seen a team win that looks like they've got rank vibes.
Yeah.
No one's ever like arguing too. I mean, apart from the Spanish women's football team, there's pretty rank vibes in there.
Directed to one person. Which is fine.
The rank vibes were very going one way. Amazing footage. I know that we do always delve into some Spanish football in this podcast, which is supposed to be rugby. But hey, sue us. During the celebration, the Spanish players were all jumping up and down, and he was in the middle, and they almost made a circle around him with their backs to him, jumping up and down while he was in the middle, sort of just jumping by himself.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew what was going on, but it looks great from an overhead angle.
Yeah, that's right. He's just excluded the whole time. He came in for a couple of key photos.
Yeah.
And that was about it for him.
Big kiss on the lips during the ceremony as well from the head of the Spanish Federation, which I always think is a risky one, planting a massive kiss on the lips of one of the players.
He'd already done his overzealous hug, and then he moved in for a kiss on the lips.
I think he'd given her a peck on the side of the head.
Definitely. But it was a hug as well. He was right in there. And then he grabbed her face.
Yeah.
And then she couldn't really go anywhere at that point.
No.
You know?
Well, we've all sort of been, overexcited. Something's happened, and you've wanted to plant a big kiss on someone. But very rarely is it on television in front of half the world in a sort of power imbalance situation. Normally, it's like Dave at after work drinks.
Have you seen his apology?
What did he say? Was he like, sorry, I can't do a Spanish accent, but was he just like, I was very horny?
He said I was very horny. Yeah, it's exactly what he said in Spanish. El horno, el grande horno.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I needed someone to do it first.
But his apology was pretty much like, oh, look, there's been a bit of a furore about this, so I'm going to, I have to apologise. It's like it was the worst half-assed apology.
A classic, I'm sorry if I offended anyone apology. Yeah. If you were offended, then I apologise.
I apologise. But if you were like me and going, yes, get in there.
I want to kiss her on the lips. Is that Spanish? I don't think so. It's not a million miles off.
Just think, even you could go Puss in Boots. I mean, where's Antonio Banderas from?
Well,
is he Mexican or Spanish?
I was going to go full...
Puss in Boots.
Who's the mouth? Who's the Speedy Gonzalez? But this sort of seems cancelable, so maybe I'll wheel that back.
Antonio Banderas. He is Spanish.
He's
from Malaga.
Speaking of...
He wanted some puss in boots.
Puss in boots. He certainly did. And looking like that and sounding like that, I'm sure he got plenty of puss in boots.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck off. I actually hate the fact that he used that stage. It would have been cool to sort of even go, I know we know it's exciting. You know, like there would have been so much time for him to have gone around the team beforehand and just go, see you on stage, but we'll party later or whatever, if he knew a couple of them well. But every single time he's lifting them. I did a little supercut on Crowd Goes Wild of all the hugs, and it was like, holy shit. The amount of ones he lifted and, anyway.
Yeah, it does seem fairly gnarly. And you want to be on very even keel with people when you do stuff like that. So you do not want them to come out afterwards and say, I did not like it, which is what Hermosa came out and said, which is the worst thing for someone to say after you punt. Surely they're like, oh no, we're friends, it's totally fine. It's sweet as we were in the moment. But if they're like, I didn't really care for it, then you're fucked.
You are, and you don't get invited to the Christmas party.
Oh, he'll be there. He'll be kissing on because that's the best time. He'll have the mistletoe above his head on a little. He'll rig the contraption.
Well, no, he said in the changing room, I'm shouting you all a holiday to Ibiza, and they were like, yeah, and he said, and I'm going to marry Jenny Hermoso.
Is this true?
Apparently, and that's what he said in the dressing room, because they're all celebrating about the Ibiza thing, but you can hear him say something else, and apparently he's saying, as a joke, I'm going to marry Jenny. It's like, oh my god, fucking.
I mean, I get it, but come on, buddy. Rugby. Hey, speaking of the All Blacks, which we sort of were before with Steve Hasen, there's actually a game this weekend. I don't know if you've been watching the news. There's a whole game, 6:30 a.m. this coming weekend against the Springboks in Twickenham. And what an occasion. I imagine it'll be a sellout. I'm just making that up. I would go if I was there. I imagine half of New Zealand will go, half of South Africa will go. There'll be beers flowing, the Steinlager will be flowing, the Biltong will be being eat. And what do you think the vibe is for this weekend? Sort of a dead rubber, a bit of a warm-up in neutral territory. You think the All Blacks will be taking it serious, running out an A starting team, or will they be sort of trying out some combinations?
I would rest everybody because I'm just so risk-averse, and I've watched Emil Ntamak go down. Obviously, we saw Michael Alatoa. I know that was a proper Bledisloe / rugby championship game, but it's like, oh my God, do you really want to do this? Whereas South Africa have completely said, nah, we're filming an even stronger team than what they fielded at Mount Smart Stadium a month ago. So they've gone all out, and there's Muscly Malcolm Marx in the front row. You've got your Eben Etzebeth. There's quite a few. So it's 8 changes, really, and they've made it stronger. When
did they last play their game as a Springboks team? Do you know off the top of your noggin?
Probably against RG. They had a couple of tests against them after us.
Yeah, right. So it's a couple of weeks ago. So maybe they're just thinking, let's get some rugby to these guys before the World Cup, so they're not coming off a big layoff. If they rest them again and their first game is in the pool, you don't want anything to go tits up in that scenario.
Yeah, well, they need to. There's a couple of experiments, so that you can just basically say, think of your strongest Springboks pack, and that's who. There's get your kits off. There's Marks, Malherbe, the guy who looks like Jack Black. Then the guy who looks like Bruno Eben Etzebeth, and big old Franco Mostert, Sia Khaleesi, Peter Steph du Toit, who's won World Player of the Year, and Dwayne Vermeulen. Holy shit!
That is quite a stacked lineup.
Then in the backs,
they must eat some food for breakfast. Those 8 men must demolish the buffet.
It's crazy.
If you go in after them, you're like, well, there's nothing here. There's no bacon. There's no mini pancakes. There's no waffles.
And you've got the giant RG Snyman, huge bitch who comes off the bench. But then if you look at the bench, there's Willie LaRue, who's played fullback for a long time for those guys. He's waiting in the wings because they've kind of experimented. Apart from Minnie Thorpe after Clerk, there's a guy, Marnie Libok, who can kick off both feet. He's pretty cool at number 10.
Yeah.
You've got your Marpimpies, and you've got your Arenzi, who's like the new Colby Cheese out on the wing. But then they've got a new centre pairing, Esther Hazen and Moody, and then Damien Willemse plays. Everybody would have seen him play in different guises from the Stormers.
Yeah,
we don't really see their players much now, but anyway, you know what I'm saying is that the backline, they are actually doing a full experiment because they've got to move on from life basically without Pollard.
No Pollard.
Yeah. So that's how I describe them. As of our recording this podcast, the All Blacks haven't been named, and I doubt they'll be named until bloody Thursday.
Yeah, we love to leave a team naming late. Be interesting to see who is out there. I'm excited for this one.
As you gob off on the...
I gobbed off. I
gobbed off into
just
yourself.
out of my mouth there. It was a real nightmare.
So I was thinking that the All Blacks shouldn't go too massive or have some strategy where you've got an insurance policy of all the big dogs on the bench, but they probably can't afford to because you need dog roll.
Yeah, you need the dogs on the
You need the
field.
dogs out there. Yeah, there's not, and they've got to choose a blindside flanker at some point who's got to play against France in the start of the tournament if Shannon Frizzell's hammy's fucked. So it'll be quite cool if Luke Jacobson got a run. I feel like he needs to play in a big test against big players like that. So maybe that's his chance to play 6. And then all the others, I don't really care. I just think we just need to get a team out there that doesn't get injured.
Yeah, well, I have a slightly different feeling. I think that we need a team out there that's going to put on a display and win. We need to go in mentally feeling good about the team. We've got that big test against France, kick the whole thing off. And then there's a couple of easier ones after that. So there's sort of these two games that we've got to focus on. The South Africa game, want to make a statement. I say crush them like bugs.
Yeah.
And then go on to that France game with a head of steam up. And then we can take a little bit of a rest after that. Obviously not underestimating, the likes of Namibia. But still, I imagine that will be a slightly easier game.
So, yeah, and I think there will be a team that won't be as raw as what we saw in Dunedin or as experimental. So I think Richie Mo'unga will come back at 10. I think Geordie and probably Rico will play in the centres. There'll be those sorts of positions where they're still thinking combinations. It's got to be. But then I feel like with the back 3, they could put anyone out there.
Yeah,
I really think they, and also with Will Jordan, he had the vertigo thing, and that was tricky because you don't know where that sits or whatever. And then he's had another little injury. He seems to me like he's perfect for cotton wool.
Yeah, just chill him out.
Him out.
It's not like he takes a while to get back into red hot form when he comes back on. He'll come on and slip straight back in like a big ice cube into a glass of milk. But
yes, and then maybe you do need Bodie at fullback if you're serious about your double pivot again. Yeah, I think the more time with double pivoting, even though it probably gives people like Andy Farrell and all those top coaches a chance to have another look and go, oh, yeah, I see what they're doing there. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing, this seems like a big call, wouldn't mind seeing Finlay Christie start. I think it could be a good opportunity to get him out there, get some good pressure minutes into him before the World Cup kicks off. We can always have Nuggie coming off the bench to cover if things are going a bit pear-shaped. But
that's what I think. I think you do. I agree. I think you do it that way with either you have a legend coming off the bench to shore things up, or you give, or they start just because you need to see the combo go. So I think the All Blacks, I don't mind if we lose it. Lose this game.
Well, I do. I think we should not lose it.
Because we beat South Africa at the start of the last World Cup, remember?
Yeah, but that was during the World Cup.
Exactly, even worse.
No, we should win every game from here on out. Let's go an unbeaten season, win the World Cup. There's no downside to winning here, McOnie.
I think that Springboks didn't give a shit about that opening game. They knew they were going to get spat out on the other side of the draw, which was infinitely easier than our side. We went on the England side of the draw. And Ireland, at that point, who was scary. And they knew that they were probably going to have to face Wales, Japan, whatever, And that was clever from Rassi.
You think he?
Fuck yeah, they
think he ate one.
Yeah, exactly. There was one try that was scored that I thought, that's never going to get scored against South Africa normally. It doesn't. Yeah, I think it was.
Well, the conspiracy is kicked off already. So you think we throw this one?
Was it a dog roll try, or maybe Anton Linnett-Brown sprinting about 50 metres with no cover defence and that? I was like,
maybe we throw it.
It doesn't feel like a test match to me. It just didn't feel very test matchy, very World Cuppy.
I'm into it. Okay, let's throw this game. And if we throw this, so if we lose this game, we'll win the World Cup, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, we heard it here. If we lose this game, I'm going to put an outrageous amount of money.
Yeah, we
I simply won't. I don't have that to put on there. But, I'll be singing it from the rooftops.
And let's send Fozzie some love as well, people.
Yeah.
I'm all aboard Team Fozzie.
Yep.
I just think if you're making a poster and you got your favourite players, there's Rico, there's Bodie, blah, 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 put a little picture of Fozzie in there.
Put a picture of Fozzie.
and make him smile.
Yeah, we should have him on the front page of the Herald. Don't worry, guys, I got this. The old Pity Weepu meme from 2011.
Yeah.
They have Fozzie saying, I got the Foz. We should bring back the Foz. The Foz levels are through the roof. We'll think up some better ones on this, and we'll get behind Fozzie. Hey, staying in England, actually, let's
take a break.
Let's take a little break, and I'll leave you on this note because this game that we are talking about, well, it's not related to this at all, but it is in the morning, 6:30, and so is the very first game of the Rugby World Cup. And you can join the ACC team to watch it in Auckland. The big bottomless rugby brunch is on at the Lulu Inn for that opening game of the Rugby World Cup. Watch the game live with us. It's going to be a heck of it's going to be a great time. I am going to try to get along to this on Saturday, September the 9th. Spots are filling up apparently, so text brunch to 3236 to get your spot to that big bottomless rugby brunch. All right, we'll be back in a jiffy. And welcome back. And speaking of England, which we were ages ago, big news. Boop, boop. That's the news alert coming out of England. Owen Farrell. 4 weeks. He's bad.
Farrell. Yes. I'm happy, clap along if you feel like Owen should get 4 weeks. Because I'm clap along. But the thing is, I think that it's fair.
Yeah.
And George Moala being downgraded to 5, it should have been less than that, probably, because I think a high shot, a shoulder to the head and face is worse than being dumped, not even on your head, just on your sort of side/shoulder from a tip tackle where he didn't even go that far, but beyond the horizontal.
Yeah, see, so I disagree with you here. I think that they're completely different. They're so different that the fact they got compared was just because they happened around the same time. But when you're doing a tip tackle, he was pretty out of control when he went. It would have been pretty easy for that to have been a big disaster for him to dump him right on his noggin when he dropped him.
No, well, the reason why he dropped him, I think, is that if you drive them into the ground, you're in fucking the deepest shit possible.
You really are.
So really, he just went up and he went, oh, fuck, I've tipped him. I'm just going to dump him sideways, which is what he did. I would much rather have that happen to me than what Owen Farrell did.
For sure.
100%.
But only because of the end outcome. Only because in the end he was fine after George Moala.
Well, both because
but if he cooked it a little bit and dropped him on the back of his head or his neck or something, it wouldn't be too far to do anything else where it would have been really damaging.
True, but he never went that far.
Also, doesn't
look at the tackle? He never actually went that. He never went to the point where you're going, oh fuck my head. If you've ever played league, do you ever play at lunchtime? You know, at school back in the day. Fucking spear tackles were nobody even, it was like the goal for some people was to fucking spear tackle. And you knew when you were in spear tackle trouble because you would be looking and the grass was the sky and and blah, blah, blah.
You feel your feet come off the ground. That's the worst feeling in the world.
Whereas that way is more like I would describe it as a WWE move with your mates where you've just been suplexed and then you're going to sort of pick him up sideways and throw him, you know?
I see.
Yeah, it's nowhere near in spear tackle territory. Going back to Hamilton Boys High lunchtime moves.
Yeah, I went to high school in sort of the glory days of Sonny Bill Williams in his league early days, and so all anyone was trying to do was to put on a absolutely huge shoulder with no arms, just sprinting into someone's blind side and just going full Kidwell into Willie Mason and just smashing the shit out of someone, which was all legal in the NRL back in the day.
It was, and nobody even thought about shoulder charges. It would happen sometimes you knew that if somebody was a little bit off balance, this is probably, the dark arts. If somebody kick on the last and they're just a little bit off balance, there'd be a little sneaky shoulder that might go in there.
They were.
If you're going to grub it that close to the defensive line, then you may get a little shoulder coming your way, shoulder to shoulder, a bit like football, legal. But obviously, what's going to happen next is them go, yard sale.
My PE teacher at high school was Kieran Kane, who went on to be the coach of the Tasman Mako. I believe he might have done some other things in his life as well.
Right.
Tough old bugger. And he was our PE teacher, also health teacher. He taught us about menstruation at one point, which I always look back and think is very funny. Yeah, and jizz. Yeah. He made us write a little box and we put our questions about the reproductive system. And then Kieran Kane I think he was an ex-All Black hard man, sort of had to read it out awkwardly. And one was, when I get a stiffy, how do I make it go down? And I still remember him reading that out and just hating life and thinking this isn't why I got into education at all. But he was
think about Wyatt Crockett.
It's
worse. It's made it worse.
Yeah, that's actually, I finished. I guess it did make it go down, but not the way you thought. But he was on the field. We were doing a PE drill where, a bit of rugby passing. And I remember I tried to put a bit of a shot on him and didn't work. I just the classic drop the shoulder into him. I'm 17, so
but you're
got a bit
bony.
of a frame.
You're
I am bony,
yeah.
and I think it hurt him because of the bones.
Yeah.
And about 3 plays later, he leveled me. He absolutely smashed the shit out of me, which I always think back and think I love to hold a grudge as an adult against a child because I must have. And he'd go, "Oh God, that guy's elbowed me in the ribs," and it's like, I'm gonna smash this little shit. No one's here to see it. No one's here to do it. And then he went on to be a lovely Tasman Marco coach.
Well, could we get Kieran Kane as one of... I'm thinking that we need analysts on the Champagne Rugby podcast, but would there be scope to get Kieran Kane on, do you think? Looking at Tony and
I'll
looking
try
at
to
Adam,
track
our
him down.
producer.
I'm really wondering if he would remember me at all. It's that sort of relationship where I remember him and he'd be like, I blacked that part of my life out. I've gone to do several great things since then. To be honest, it was a real low for me. I remember one stage, and this is when I truly knew that he wasn't appreciating the job he had. He made us go outside and follow ducks and write about what we thought the ducks were thinking and feeling. And I remember doing that and thinking, yeah, his heart isn't in this.
We need to get him on. We need to get him on to redress the grievances, obviously, of Tony Lyall there from the... What school was that?
That's Marlborough Boys College.
Marlborough Boys College.
Marlborough Boys College.
Marlborough Boys College. Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
I just liked a post from David Hill of Marlborough Boys
ex-Marlborough
College.
man, of course. The Marlborough Boys Falcons, I think they're carving it up this year, the first 15. I think they're lighting up the competition down there. Back to Faz, Owen Farrell.
Yeah.
Because I want to say, firstly, doesn't watching George Moala do a spear tackle make you just remember how much you love George Moala? I was watching and I was like, God, why did he leave? I wish he'd stayed. I loved him so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of players who I think just push the button. And, I mean... whatever it is, pulled the chute where they just go, I'm gone for the money. And it's like, no, it just needed to be one more season, maybe 2 more seasons.
He was too fringe. I don't think the All Black selectors loved him the way that we do.
Well, he got us out of jail in Samoa when we played that one-off test, and that was 2015 World Cup.
Yeah, it was. That was the week after the Highlanders won the Super Rugby Championship.
Oh, yes. Well, so the thing is, Moala was amazing in that game. He was kind of the one player that really sort of like revelled in it. Mm-hmm. But back in the day, I remember players, even a mate of mine who made the All Blacks, and he left because Zinzan Brook was in his way, and he said no one's going to get picked ahead of him. Zinzan Brook lasted for another year. That was it, and he was gone. He didn't even make it to the 1999 World Cup. So my mate just basically pulled pin too early.
Yeah.
You just got to stick
For a
around.
shame.
There was Steve Surridge from the Crusaders. He played for the All Blacks, but, you got to hang in there.
I remember Brad Weber as well being nippy around that field in Samoa, although there is a niggly feeling in the back of my mind. Was that the game he broke his leg in? Can't remember. I'll Google that after the pod. That's your homework if you're listening out there.
Please.
Google, what game did Brad Weber break his leg in?
Hey, I'm fine with... I really love the Farrells, and especially Andy.
Yep.
He's such a fucking top man, and I'd be quite happy for him to do well in this World Cup. Mm-hmm. But even him getting dragged into it's pretty awkward, with the dad and your son, and it's like it is part of rugby. But the problem is that judiciary that let him off the
That's
hook.
the problem.
That's the problem. It's only them, and they should never be a judiciary ever again.
There shouldn't be. And there shouldn't be some
Yeah.
such thing as a Six Nations judiciary who look after these sort of things and let players off lightly.
So they're done. They're toast as far as
They
I'm
said the
concerned.
problem is that the initial judiciary didn't take into account the fact that he didn't wrap his arms in the tackle, which seems like the only thing that you should look at in that scenario. You're doing a shoulder barge. Did he wrap his arms? It's like the first thing. I'm an idiot. And I'd be like, hey, he didn't wrap his arms. He just led with the shoulder. Telling me a full judiciary didn't consider that fact. They should all never judicialise again.
Exactly, and even you consider that fact talking about Marlborough Boys when everyone's trying to do a Sonny Bill and a David Kidwell back in the day, and even that's been outlawed at Marlborough Boys. So how come Owen frickin' Farrell's getting away with it in 2023? When were you at Marlborough Boys?
I was in 2004.
It's over, people. You cannot tuck that shoulder in or just go full frickin' old school shoulder charge. It's gone.
Yeah,
Steve Kearney, you even go back to him, Sonny Bill, Kidwell, some of the great shoulder charges of our times. No more. Except Farrell and bloody Vunipola did
I was going to say Billy Vunipola shoulder charged the shit out of a guy.
Oh, my God.
I love it.
And they can't help. They tuck like that because it's like that thing that you're protecting yourself.
You're protecting your internal organs, your kidneys. It's like your caveman brain is like, better protect the goods.
Yeah.
And so you do that and just smash the shit out of a guy right on his brain. So 4 weeks Owen got in the end from going from
Right on his
nothing.
brain.
They said that 6 weeks was the sort of mandatory period, and because there was no arms in the tackle, there's no mitigating circumstances that are able to come in to it. So basically, the only reason it was downgraded to 4 was because of his good character and that he showed remorse.
Who? Vunipola?
No, this is Owen Farrell.
How many's we're on to
Owen Farrell's got 4 weeks.
I know Owen's got 4.
Oh, I don't know about
Billy. Vunipola. We've moved on to.
Oh, I was going back to Owen because I just wanted
We
to know.
know he's got 4.
Yeah, but
and we're
for
saying
good character, he's done this like 100 times.
Oh, he's
Just
terrible.
because he's a great guy, what is he buys a couple of rounds at the bar? Is this
They are a
good
lovely family.
Is this? Yeah, I'm sure he is.
It's been on the record in this podcast how lovely the
But
family is.
everyone is a nice guy when they're not playing rugby. No,
I know. It's like,
If they're like,
Russell
6
Brown.
weeks because he's a dickhead.
Russell Brand always says that. He goes, when you're interviewing celebrities, you say how lovely they are. Even Hitler could be lovely for 5 minutes.
Well, that's dubious.
Well, maybe it's 4.
Yeah,
He's
I don't know.
3 minutes
I
max,
feel
and then
like
all of a
he'd-
sudden he's like,
He'd
off.
drop a pretty heavy J pretty early on to the conversation, I'd imagine.
What would you say, Adolf?
Doing what?
What?
Why's your arm doing
What?
that?
What? You can't. At least he's not tucking
Yeah.
the shoulder. That's all I can say.
I'd
At least
say-
Hitler is. There's arms in the
He'd
tackle,
be a pretty sturdy second 5/8, I reckon.
but if he tucked the shoulder, 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks in the bin.
Yep.
Mate, off you go.
Billy Vunipola suspension, because it must be. I mean, it only happened, didn't it?
Yeah, I wonder if he's actually been to the judiciary yet.
Now they're asking for a swift judiciary for Billy. I think Billy might, even though the player is low, it doesn't matter if Shorty got low. The worst head highs I've seen are players falling, and the tackler knows exactly what they're doing. One
Yeah.
was Jason Deeth for the Warriors, and this guy Rodney Howe, prop from Melbourne Storm, absolutely broke his fucking jaw. You knew it as soon as it happened, clear as day. And then there was that other famous one, Wigan versus Castleford, and it's famous because the commentator goes, "That was diabolical. Send him off. Get him walking. Get him walking.
Yeah.
You dickhead." Like this. And he's like losing his shit. And I can't speak. He goes, and then that is one of the most famous, horrible swinging arms. The guy's actually on the ground.
He is on the ground.
Yeah.
He is. He's
So I hate this whole height thing. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Fucking tennis players can return serves at fucking 100, 200 Ks. So I think you can.
Yeah, you can readjust, and you
readjust.
also know if you've played rugby, you can see him going down,
Yeah.
and your eyes light up if anything because you're like, oh, I'm really going to get him here.
Exactly.
Especially someone falls down into a swinging arm into a maul, you're like, oh, here we go. You know what's happening, and you know it when you are the falling player as well. You're like, oh, I'm going to get got here.
Do you reckon if they had cameras at Marlborough Boys and they look back and all your concussions, the reason why you became a comedian is all because of Kieran Kane just fucking holding that grudge every time you're out there? You go,
Yeah.
You can sort of get up and go, what happened there? And they're like, don't know, mate.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't
And
know.
then you
Actually,
see swinging arm Kieran Kane.
another Marlborough Boys College story. It was in First 15 trials in 2004. End of a long training session. I might have told the story before, but really punishing. When you're just doing offensive and defensive drills, just basically smashing the shit out of each other. And they got to the end of the training, and no one was keen, and they were playing basically the probables versus the possibles. Yeah. So it was all the people who probably weren't going to make it. I was in that team, and then the good team, and we were just running it at them, and everyone had just had enough. And they would do it. They wanted to take a quick tap and run it at them, and no one was keen. And I was like, and I knew that I was a long shot. It's my last year at school, so I was like, I just got to do it. So they chucked me the ball.
Oh, you're
I
running.
Sprinted up. It was absolutely axed by someone who went on to be a Māori All Black, Quinton McDonald, who was about 4 years younger than me at the time.
No, not just that, but the most celebrated, decorated Tasman player of all time.
Fins up, go the Marco.
Fins up. Did he just become the top scorer, or was it he scored on his record-breaking game?
I think he scored on his record-breaking game.
Fuck that. Was topical, but also taking it back to the old school. He smashed you.
He smashed
Ribs?
shit out of me, and then right up top, around the shoulders,
shit.
and we went down, and then the ball got held in, and so we broke up, and then they were like, "Oh, go again," And I remember the guy who tapped it looked at me and passed me the ball again. And I was like, oh, God. And I ran up and he did it again. But this time I went to bunt him and he slipped up and hit me in the throat.
Oh, fuck.
And it was one of the sorest tackles I've ever had, someone going full into your throat.
Oh, my God.
And I fell down and the coach blew the whistle and was like, yeah, that's probably the end of training, guys, and called the training off. And I remember lying there and someone picked me up and was like, gave me a pat on the shoulder. And I honestly remember the pat on the shoulder being like, I think that went well for me. I think I just got known as that I was not afraid to do it twice. Quinton smashed me twice in a row.
So were you the light entertainment in the team?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've been described on several occasions in my rugby career as a good team man.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's why I made a lot of the teams that I did, especially in Otago University, as they like to have me around for morale.
Yeah, I think I was kind of the light entertainment, but there was always one player, and it was usually a forward who was out of the box, and you were a lock, weren't you?
Yeah, I was a lock.
Yeah, because I remember there was a guy called Matthew Freak, and the whole Freak family were very funny.
Is that a genuine last name?
Yeah, Freke, Matthew Freak, and his son plays.
You've got to be a bit of a legend if your last name's Freak.
Yeah, and Matthew Freak, he was kind of the voice of the team, and he'd just say stupid shit the whole time and come up with all sorts of weird plans and that. And of course, I think he was a forward who would sort of run it up and get smashed. So his fast forward to today, and his son is a goalkeeper for the Brisbane Roar. So
wow.
One of the freaks came good.
Yeah, well, here comes the freak show.
The freaks are.
Hey, and while we're on the topic of the Tasman Mako, by the way, huge game is happening Wednesday night. We record this on Wednesday morning. God knows when it's going to come out, but the Ranfurly Shield is on the line. The Tasman Mako fins up, trying to get their hands on it against Wellington, in Wellington, which is how the Ranfurly Shield works. And I could not be more excited about this game. We've only had a handful of Shield challenges in the Mako's sorted history. We had an early days in Wellington when, as a team, we were a bit of a shambles, and we actually came close. The last one I remember is against Hawke's Bay, when we were, pretty decent team, and we still managed to come a little bit short. But tonight is the night I'm thinking we're going to get our hands on the newly improved log of wood. Mm-hmm. I noticed that they peeled off the last log off the back and put a new log on, which
it's twice the thickness, Tony, and people will applaud that when you get wood. If you've got twice the thickness, everyone, it's usually a cause for celebration. But in this case, it looks like a frickin' coffee table from early settler. It doesn't. It's like when you're given the log of wood and you're going, what is this, imposter? Like you've been given a counterfeit.
Yeah.
And a forged painting.
Does it still have?
Or they changed your favourite actor, like when Aunt Viv changed on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's a different actress, and you're like, is that Aunt Viv?
And is the mana still in the log of wood is what I was wondering afterwards, because this old piece of wood, that's seen everything. There's been, I'd hate to think what that log of wood has gone through. I imagine anything you can imagine has probably happened on that log of wood over the years. And
they should give it a podcast.
They should
imagine
the stories the log of wood could tell.
Oh, and it's just chatting away and you wouldn't believe it. Oh, I've seen so many players' genitals.
I've had so many people on top of me making sweet love.
Yeah, and exactly. I've seen a lot of ass in my time.
I've had a lot of beers drunk on me. God knows what's been sniffed off me.
Yeah.
It would just be able to put a few people away, I reckon. The logger would. It would have some stories on people who would send them to jail.
But it's been on a lot of cool bike rides as well.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been on a cool few pub crawls, and it's been in some nice photos and stuff. I always thought it looks a lot like one of those skim boards that you use in the shallows. In the shallow.
Are they keeping the old bit of wood somewhere? I feel like they should. Just frame it up somewhere.
As a skim board.
As a skim board. And if you lose, there's like a loser's log of wood. So whoever loses every game, you lose and you
get the skim board.
You get the skim board. But anyway, that's up for grabs tonight in Wellington. And our TAB Game Day Good Punt this week is going to go on that. I'm after Tasman Mako to win 1-12. I think it's paying $3.70. So if that comes good, we'll be able to add some more dollars to that ACC kitty and try to get it into the hands of you lovely bastards out there who listen to this good show. But it's going to be a good day. I've got a good feeling. It's never been the Tasman Mako as a club have never held the log of wood. Marlborough have won it. God knows if Nelson have won it. Who cares? But we won it back in the 70s or something. My mate's dad was in the team. He was on the bench when they won it, and it was one of the biggest days in Marlborough rugby history. So hopefully this evening the Tasman bidder, if they still do make that, which I don't think they do, will be flowing in the top of the South.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. It's a big game. What time are we talking? I'll tune in and watch.
I'm going to guess a 7 o'clock kickoff. That's just a huge guess.
Is it on Saturday?
No, it's tonight.
What?
Tonight is the night, people. We've got a
Shit.
Wednesday night Shield Challenge in Sky Stadium, and it's 7:05 p.m.
All right, if you win, I'll come over to your place for a beer. Okay?
Oh, I'm going to be through the roof if we win. It's
Okay. You'll be expecting a knock on the door.
I'll just be going. I'll have to tell my wife.
With my skimboard.
If we win the Ranfurly Shield, a man you've never met might show up. We'll just see how we go. The kids are sleeping all right, sweet. I'll be more excited than anyone. But that's on tonight, so I say get around it and go support your local NPC team. Go have a watch. You don't have to watch all the games, but just start getting behind it. Build up the vibe. And I think it's going to culminate in a pretty interesting end of the season. The rugby is pretty decent out there. I've been watching a bit, same as the women's version. Get around it.
It is. It's great. And even my team, Waikato, which is going very experimental, they had a full-on bogan from my hometown, Cody Nordstrom, with one of the greatest mullets you'll ever see. And it's also one of those mullets that, like, I think that whether he was playing rugby or not, and, you know, because you've got a bit of an audience, don't you, when you've got your mullet or a hairdo in sport. But I reckon that one is what he'd be rocking if he was panel beating or a lawyer or a high court judge.
It is.
He would have that mullet.
It's
Cody.
his legitimate option that he's gone in and got it. And then they're like, is that because you're on the TV? He's like, what? No.
Well, I'm Cody Nordstrom.
This
is
game
what
is
I do.
televised.
Yeah.
And you can listen in to the All Blacks. Remember, this week it will be McOnie and myself on the commentary.
Yes.
6:30 a.m. on Radio Hodaki, iHeartRadio, and Sky Sport 9, so across the full spectrum. Get that up at 6:30 a.m. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a great game. My prediction for that is ABs by 10.
And I'm saying we tank and win the cup. Tank and win cup.
Tank and win cup.
Yep.
It's a great option. All right, thanks very much for listening. We bloody love you, and we'll catch you next week. Go the Mako.